Thank you, Pam. And just a quick word about our Board of Education. They are so supportive of you. They're so supportive of our community, and particularly the kids in our community. I really appreciate the opportunity to work with them. And this district would not be what it is without their vision, without their passion. So thank you, Board of Education members. I want to go back and talk about family just a little bit. And I want to talk about it in terms of a term labeled engagement, student engagement. Most of you are probably familiar with the Gallup Corporation. Gallup does a lot of polling for elections, but they also do a lot of polling for education, and they have a part of their staff that really is dedicated to education. They poll teachers, they poll students, they'll poll patrons. They work with PDK Magazine and have a huge national poll that comes out every year that educators look forward to. But I want to focus in on a student engagement poll that they recently conducted. I had the opportunity to hear the president of Gallup speak. And I'm going to do the same thing basically that he did. Up on the screen, you're going to see a number of statements that students were asked to respond to. And they could strongly agree all the way down to strongly disagree. Their research was really interesting because what they came up with is there are two things on that list that if students answered that they strongly agreed, those kids were 30 times more likely to be engaged in their school than if they answered that they disagreed. So I want you to take just a minute, kind of go down those, and see if you can pick out which two of those items, and they're all pretty positive. I know when he did this with a group of superintendents from across the country, I was 1 for 2. I only got one of the two. So everybody got in your mind what you think they might be? Okay, somebody go ahead and show us what the next two. It was the bottom two. How many of you got it right? Really not very many. Interesting. I guess I was in good company. My school is committed to building the strengths of each student. Now, the interesting thing about that one, if you really stop and think about it, is it's not egocentric. What this means is that students that were able to see that their entire school was committed to building the strengths not only of them, but of their classmates. In other words, it was a cultural kind of thing. Schools need to build a culture where every student sees that the entire school is committed to building the strengths of everybody, not just a select few. And then the second one becomes more egocentric. I have at least one teacher who makes me excited about the future. Well, the natural question is, how do we go about doing this? How do we go about being sure that our kids are engaged in school? Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record because every year we talk about relationships, don't we? It all boils down to relationships. Some of our kids are really, really easy to form relationships with. They're really easy to love, quite frankly. Some of our kids are a little bit harder to love, and quite frankly, some of them are really difficult. But those are the kids that we really need to focus in on. And if we can, I believe, if we can focus on those two things, build a culture so that they understand that everybody's trying to build up the strengths of everybody else, and if we can help them to see that one person is interested in them and their future, we absolutely can increase the engagement that we have in our schools. And I guarantee you, if engagement increases, everything else will take care of itself. Our test scores will go up. You know, our goal 2 indicators will go up. It absolutely will, I think, propel us to be the best we can ever be. I want to mention that also we had 4 of our middle schools, I think it was Pleasant Ridge, Prairie Star, Overland Trail, and Aubrey Bend, that participated in this survey, and they actually were in the top quartile of schools all across the country. So I know we're doing things right. Please don't think, for example, So don't think for a minute that I think we're not doing these things, but we can do it better. We can always do a better job of it. So a little bit on student engagement and what that means to be, I think, a part of a happy home and a happy family. Would like to have all of our new staff members stand. If you're new to Blue Valley, whatever your role is, this is your first time in convocation, I want you to stand. Okay, I'm going to embarrass you some more. I know you just sat down. Stand back up. Because, no, I stand back up. Come on, because I want everybody to know who you are, because rather than just recognize you this year, and that's what we normally do, I want to take this engagement thing just a step further, because what if those of us that are seated in the audience help them to become engaged by helping them in these same two areas? What if they know that we've got a culture that's absolutely going to encourage their strengths and help them to improve and excel, and we also are excited about their future in Blue Valley, and we've got at least one person that's willing to help them feel that way throughout the year, what a successful year they're going to have, which will translate to a successful year for our kids. So once again, welcome, and we're going to do everything we can to be sure that you're absolutely successful. Thank you. There's a family that we've been welcoming to Blue Valley, not once or twice, but 4 times. They have an identity of their own, and they call Blue Valley home. Let's take a look.